What? Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Wombo podcast. I'm Chip Monk, and with me, as always, is the Mr. Gimpy.
What's going on, Chip? How's it going, dude?
Oh, living my bestest of lives, bro. How about you?
Dude, I'm just chilling, dude. It's been a good weekend, man.
It was an amazing weekend, dude. I'm recovering, dude. I had to go. I woke up early, and that was 8 a.m. for me. That's late for me, dude. I'm usually up at 5 a.m. And I went to bed at 9 p.m. So I slept all of the hours, dude. And I woke up and I was still tired. And I was like, how you wake up tired? This is bullshit.
I think more than anything, it's the dry mouth for me.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I instantly started hydrating, dude. I drank 4 liters of water last night. I was just going chugging. I just threw the bottle back there, dude. There's probably a bottle back there.
It happens, dude. It happens.
Yeah.
So for everyone tuning in today,
welcome.
Chipped Monk and I we got to chill in person for the first time in a few months now. The whole crew got together.
When was the last time we hung out? Was that when we did the live podcast?
When we did the live, yeah, but that was kind of work, right? This is just a chill.
Yeah. So, this is just for leisure, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know. It's weird because all of our buddies know we do this podcast together. So everything we did, they're like, "Oh, this is content. Do it for the memes, bro. Do it for the memes." And we're like, "Geez, guys, can we just can we chill?
Yeah,
can we just hang out?" They're like, "Oh, this is where you two start wrestling. Take off your shirts and start wrestling." And we're like, "Dude, this is weird. No, we're not need to do that."
That is what's happening.
Yeah, man.
I think the biggest takeaway. So this weekend when we were doing all this chilling in person was also the Halo Infinite beta weekend. So from a gaming standpoint, it was pretty big. From us chilling standpoint, it was pretty big because we had the UFC fights as well.
It was great.
Some good stuff. The Nate Diaz return fight. And
and the catalyst is it's me and our other buddy's birthday. So
and our buddy's birthday. Yeah,
I know you don't necessarily need a reason to get together.
You don't,
but
you don't.
But we had multiple reasons. You had the Halo Infinite beta, you had the UFC fights, you had the birthday parties, dude. It was a stacked weekend of things. And we're like, all right, let's all get together. Let's do something. Let's do it big.
It's excellent. Exactly.
Let's make it happen.
So I think that when we found some things, man, we found some things wrong. But so before I get into that, though, man, I just know
beta or
I know we
in
chilled,
life,
but, in life as well, in the gaming front in real life, kind of local couch play. It is officially dead, dude. I think that's one of the big things we found. This generation into the next generation this generation lasted so long, and it's so long in the tooth that games that are being made for the next gen systems are being forced to be put on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and they're being forced to make it for the base model, and it doesn't work very well. One of the critically acclaimed games that we all tried in couch co-op was The Ascent on, we were playing on the Xbox One X. Yes, Chip has a Series S, but he's not bringing that to places. So
I was going to, but you guys were like, "Oh, we're bringing the one." I was like, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah, we should have.
I was like, it's a bit much if we all bring our consoles. That's a bit weird.
I think if we brought yours, we probably would have had a better experience. But I think that the fact that we used the last gen model was probably the best bet for this pod.
Sure.
Because the Ascent, right, has high 80s, low 90s in score. Said, "Oh yeah, great co-op game. Play it. It's really, really good action RPG." We played it, and the game on a One X had struggled streaming in content. We were stuck in the overworld forever because it kept freezing just to stream in the next.
Yeah, when we got to that first little city area hub world, it was It basically became a slideshow in areas and super unplayable in other areas, or it was just hiccuping constantly. Anytime there was any amount of effects or bullets on the screen, it was nah, we're good.
The other thing I noticed too is the bugs. Every game we tried that was new, but on the last gen console, had game breaking bugs where you had to turn off the game and start it over again. The Ascent was one.
Halo was one, man.
Yeah. I'll get into that.
Okay.
So the Ascent being one was not only was the streaming and the stuttering a huge issue where it was left unplayable, but also when Heart on the Table didn't have the ability to shoot his gun anymore. It just randomly
Yeah.
stopped, and we had to
He's like,
close
yeah.
out,
We're like,
restart the
no,
game, and
you
redo the
gotta hit the
mission.
button. He's like, guys, I'm hitting the, like, look. He's like holding up the controls, like, why would I lie about this, guys? And we're like, are you sure you're pressing it? Like, we just started messing with him even more. Like, bro, you're not really hitting the button though.
Yeah.
He's like, no, like, you can see me. I'm like, nah, that did seem like a clean hit. Like, yeah, I hit it
Definitely.
straight on.
Definitely. So that's one. And then when you guys were all asleep, Heart on the Table and I were trying out some of the other couch co-op games that I installed from Game Pass. And the other one we tried was the Warhammer Chaos Bane, which basically was Gauntlet, right? We were like, okay, we
Yeah.
wanted kind of a Gauntlet game. So we were going to test it before the boys woke up and just figure, hey, we can just play this Gauntlet-like game and just have a good time with it. The enemies were spawning above us and they were stuck floating in the air. And we couldn't hit them. The enemies couldn't hit us. We were just walking through the area. And then after we beat 2-3 missions, it just froze completely. And we had to restart. Like, we were just like, okay, fuck this game now. And getting into Halo MCC. Now, 343 has done a ton of work to make this game, not complete asshole, but still it ended up being complete asshole, and it's still probably
it tries to be too much, right? It tries to do too much.
It's probably the worst way to play Halo right now, honestly. But it's like the only way to play it if you want to play it in multiplayer.
I would say the Master Chief Collection made me not want to play Halo, and then playing Halo Infinite made me want to play Halo. It was weird, like that weird night.
Two cities,
like,
right?
Yeah, I was just like, oh man. I remember Halo being like actually a lot funner than this, like especially like multiplayer, like co-op, like you can turn off like HUD elements, so it's like the kill feed just like covers up your whole screen if you're trying to play split screen. It doesn't save your profile between games.
If you're a
guest between games, so it's like you'll set up your guy and you're like, all right, cool, save. It doesn't save anything, dude. The button might as well just be like F you, and then like you click it. it's like save changes, F you or no, and you're like, yeah, all right.
It's true. It's true.
And like, yeah, so like every other game, like you basically would have to go in and try and set your settings again, or just get used to the default ones. And it was an unpleasant experience to say the least. Like the fact that you can't turn off the HUD elements, so you can't really see anything. Like if we're playing on a big TV too.
You're playing on a 65-inch TV.
Yeah, it wasn't like a tiny screen, but like the kill feed and stuff goes right in the middle of the screen. So it's like right when you're trying to aim and stuff, it's like, oh, this person died, this is happening, and you're like, I don't care, bro, I'm trying to play.
Whoever was like underneath me when I was going off too, and like I remember I had like an overkill or whatever, and I got like a killing spree right after, and something else, and things were just kind of like all my medals and shit were piling on the screen. Whoever was below me couldn't see shit, and I think it was either you or Mr. Butterball. And,
I think that was me, bro.
And I remember you were like, "What the? I can't see dick. Can we turn off the HUD elements?" No, not at all. So, so I mean,
and we know that because the last time we tried to all play together, that we had the same issue. So it's like, it's not like they haven't known about this and had time to fix like these little things. Like, they know, and they're just like, yeah, whatever.
And here's the big smoking gun with developers and probably publishers as a whole not caring about couch play is when we were playing, like, Halo's been around for 20 years. Halo 3, nearly 15 years itself on its own. And we were playing a Halo 3 map, split screened, 4 players, and it was that SWAT match where it had the waterfall on it, and it was so laggy we couldn't go into one area because it would stutter so much, and you couldn't even aim or shoot. This game was designed for a console previous, and in one case, 2 previous consoles, and you can't figure that out. You can't that map worked fine on the actual Xbox 360. Like what happened from the 360 and that map working fine, 4 players, to the Xbox One, and they're like, well, fuck that map. That map means nothing.
It's like a symptom of like just developers becoming more lazy. I don't know if that's like the best word for it, but the current gen systems all have enough power to just kind of power through any of the bottlenecks that the older things would experience. So you see this with like apps, like I'll throw out like some unnamed photo manipulation program where it takes forever to boot up, and like you're like, why does this take like 4 minutes to boot up on a really nice computer? Like, this is ridiculous. It's because they're just like, yeah, we know your system can handle it. You can see it with like video games where they're like, oh, have like 100 gig install day one for an update, and it's like, why would you do this to people? It's like they just know that you have the hard drive space and you have like the computer specs to power through any like bottlenecks that they would have that programmers and artists in the past would have to fix. Like you'd have to figure out how to compress textures, you'd have to figure out how to optimize code, you'd have to figure out like how to shut off like HUD elements or like save profiles so that go in between, because like if that shit didn't work, like people were taking that back to the store and returning it. Like
That's
and like
yeah.
we said that
Yeah.
about like the Ascent too, like when you're talking about it and you're like I'm surprised because like all you've heard is good things about the game, and I'm like, yeah, it's crazy that like Cyberpunk 2077 got so much bad press about it, and like this got like nothing, like nobody even made a whimper about like how busted this game is. And I was like, I think that's just the difference in like scale. Like if they sold like 3 or 4 million copies, then like everyone would have been up in arms. Like they'd be like, whoa, what is this? Dude, this is crazy. This is literally unplayable. It should be pulled from the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
The other big bottleneck that I think that we didn't notice because we were like the days of couch co-op was when we were in our teens, right? Teens and before, where couch play was pretty normal. You had a bunch of people in your house who just all picked up a controller and played, or set up a quick LAN or something. The thing is every single game has to be installed, regardless of you having a disc or not. Which I know has been brought up before, but if you have been in a situation where you're in a like party and people are all trying to play, like for example Halo or anything else, and Halo MCC is 100 GB download, and then a 50 GB update on top of that download, we had to wait 2 hours to play. So we ended up hooking up a Wii U and playing Mario Party, and then we played Mario Party 3 on emulator.
Honestly, kind of like the highlight of the whole
the
party,
Mario
really, for like couch co-op as far as that goes. I would say Mario Party is still strong.
It's
still
super
holding it.
strong. Yeah.
And I would say like Crash,
Crash was
Bandicoot Team
great.
Race. Yeah, that was amazing too.
Yeah.
Like I would say like those two games were like, and then Halo Infinite was good, but like only one person could really play that at a time.
Yeah.
And that was fun. That was fun to just kind of like pass the controller around, pass the joy. I don't know what you kids say, the nunchuckoos.
right. That's true. It was very
Up the
fun.
joy.
So
Up the joy, bro.
Yeah, dude. That being said, let's get into, before we get into Infinite a little bit, let's get into one of the things that we were completely shocked about. And we've mentioned it on the pod before that we miss old school arcades and actually being able to go out, chill, hop on a cabinet, and just start playing and beating other people in the arcade at these games. The arcade we went to had a Tekken 5 machine, which was actually pretty cool.
You're playing, I said like cheeky kicks. I was like, oh, we're throwing cheeky kicks, huh? You beat the brakes off like all of us. That was fun, man. I hadn't played Law forever, man. I was like, oh, is this who's this Law? How's this work?
Yeah, Heart on the Table, because I main King on Tekken 7, and so I picked King on Tekken 5, even though back then I mained Christy Montero, but I was like, I do King now. And he picked King too. We both kind of looked at each other like, oh, it's on now. And
whose King will reign supreme.
Yeah, and I just had a lot more experience in the game, just like more recent experience, so it weren't out, but good stuff. That being said, that was
start coming back to me a little bit as I was playing. I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of how I do like those roundhouse kick combos and stuff.
Yeah. Now the state of the arcade we went to was piss poor. Yeah, and the worst part is I looked up reviews of this place, and Heart of the Table was vouching for it before we went. But I looked up reviews of it, right? Just by virtue of saying
I've been there before when it was fun.
It had 4 out of 5 star reviews. Yeah, like people are saying it's great. The big draw for me was the VR portion. I was really excited to have all 4 of us try out. Well, and our other buddy who decided to sleep instead of playing games with us, but whatever. I was looking forward to
the British Bake Off.
Yeah. I was looking forward to just all of us trying VR, especially on this pod of me just saying how great it is. I was looking forward to you especially trying VR, and we get there, whole thing's broken. Like
down
we can't
for me.
It's down.
He's like, I'm on the phone with the people right now, dude.
so we get there. That was like a bad omen, right? But it's a big arcade, so we're like, okay, we can still do other things.
We'll do other stuff, dude.
We go back, we find like Tekken, and then that one of those arcade cabinets that had 400 games or whatever. Heart on the Table and I played some Mercs. I think he played some Ghosts and Goblins as well, and we were having a good time. I think it started off
like
really
a shoot 'em up. I was playing a shoot 'em up on that multi arcade system there. I played had the big Crossy Road machine. I was playing some of that. That was all right.
Yeah, dude. So there's definitely some good things. And then we did a mini bowling tournament, which you whooped our ass. And then we did a skee ball
Skee ball.
tournament, which
Yeah.
yeah, skee ball, which you really whooped
Oh
our
yeah.
ass.
Oh yeah. No, I used to be on a bowling team, dude. Like in high school, like, and like I felt like I was bowling, and like for me, like anything under like 230 is like really bad,
Yeah,
and I'm like doing like 180, and I'm like, well, it's completely different. This is mini kind of bowling, but whatever.
yeah,
Uh, then skee ball is just going for the 10K points in skee ball, and
yeah.
so like even if I miss like 4 out of like 6 shots, if you hit the 2, like you're already hitting like 30,000 points basically. So
True, true. So
just enough to edge everybody else out, all the competition. That game
Chip
theory at work.
Chip was a straight beast on skee ball. Like
Yeah,
everybody had to give you props for it. The Pac-Man Battle Royale was pretty fun.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think some of the joysticks were a little jank, but we worked around it.
yeah. It
And
wasn't too bad.
yeah, and I won that one just barely, but the Pac-Man prowess won out. And then the bad stuff started happening.
Yeah, it seemed like we are doing all those things to wait for VR to get up and running, and we're like, you know what? Let's go play some mini golf. Let's have some fun. We'll play some mini golf. Check on that VR. Play some VR. Get some pizza and get out of here.
Yep.
It'll be great. So we start playing some mini golf. You were dominating in mini golf too for the majority of it.
For a bit, yeah. I lost it at the end, like towards the end.
It seemed like each of us had like a bit of like a stretch there where we're doing like really well.
Yeah.
I started doing really bad though. Like I got on tilt and then like I knocked my ball out and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try and win with it anyway.
Yeah.
And I had like some ridiculous shots and stuff, and like it was really fun. Then we get to this one part where there's like a rock over this bridge, and we're like, oh, I think there's like a tube here. You're supposed to shoot it into the tube, and it goes underneath the bridge and like comes out the other side. And so we're like, oh, some jerk probably put this rock on here. So we take off the rock. Our buddy, he goes up, tees up, he goes right in there, and he's like, oh, it's gonna be a hole in one. And then like he runs to the other side of the bridge. He's like, it's not coming out. Where'd it go? And then our other buddy's like, I don't know. Maybe he got stuck throwing another ball down there. So we threw another ball down there. And I'm like, guys, I think that's why the rock was out there. I think this one's broken. And you're like, what? And like, Harlot's table goes to the other side. He's like using his stick, trying to like get in there and like unjam it.
Yep.
And we're just like, it's gone, boys. It's gone. So we just abandoned the mini golf course like halfway through it.
Yeah.
We head back in, man.
So here's the thing: to go to a place where mini golf is like one of the main events, and to have the mini golf course broken, like it's very hard to screw up to have people leaving disappointed from mini golf. It's one of the purest forms of entertainment, if you ask me. Now that started,
there was like one of the other like gimmicks too wasn't like working, like it was plugged in or whatever. And I was just like, whatever. We just played around it,
spin, and couldn't get your ball out. It did
have game breaking bugs.
Yeah. So real life was having problems. Entertaining us properly. So we go back in. We have some pizza. That whole situation.
Yeah, we checked on the VR
because
VR still down.
VR is still down, so we're getting more and more disappointed. Mini golf's broken. VR is down, so we're like, I think you more than me we're pissed off about this whole situation.
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, like it was just kind of like I had been there before, and like everything was amazing. It was fine, and I think we had said like it was about more controlling expectations. Because like we had like 3-hour play passes and they're like $40. And if they had just said to us like, yo, half the shit in here is broken. The mini golf, one of the holes is down on that. What else was down? Like go-karts were down.
Down. Yeah.
Laser tag was down for a little bit. The VR was down like the entire half. If they had just told us that up front, I think we would have been like, yeah, all right, I don't care. I'm just here with my buddies to have like fun.
Yep.
But because they just sold it to us, and we're like, as we're going in here, we're like, bro, everything is broken.
Yep.
And so I was like starting to get like kind of like, I'm feeling ripped off here. I feel bamboozled.
So the point where I got pissed off is when we were waiting for VR. They got 2 of the 4 machines working for VR. So we're like, and then they're working on the last 2. We're like, okay, they're getting it there. We have some time left. Let's go kill some time. So you and I, we were like, we haven't teed off in any game yet, and we were doing this pod and we talk shit to each other all the time, so we might as well, right? So I'm like, there's Guitar Hero, let's go.
Yeah.
pick up
You're
my
amped up.
guitar.
We're like, we're going to finally do this. Let's stand up. Let's get it after it. And I was like, oh, what's this? It's called Guitar Hero. I never played Guitar Hero ever. Let me try this out.
So we get it. I cannot strum. The
Strummer's
fret's broken.
busted, dude.
Yeah. So we go through, what was it? Bulls on Parade with, I couldn't do anything. I ended up jamming.
I destroyed you, dude. I won,
just
dude.
to have something to,
I'm the true victor.
I had to like smash into it just to get it to do anything. And then like after that, the song was half over. And I'm like, how do you not have a sign on this or something? Like, how do you break a Guitar Hero guitar in the arcade? Like that, the arcade ones are not your home ones. They're like extra thick and reinforced to have this. So like that was disappointing. Mr. Butterball and I played Buck Hunter, and he whooped my ass in that. And at first I thought it was calibration, and nah, he just killed it.
The other machine next to that, I was playing the Terminator machine, and like the calibration on that was broken. I couldn't shoot anything on the left side with my gun. Like it's just like half the screen. It's like, yeah, it's a dead zone. Like everything just had like a lot of character to it. Like everything was just kind of busted there, dude. Like,
so I think the big difference from arcades now and arcades in the past is when we went to an arcade in the 90s, there were maintenance techs there. If a game broke, you told the maintenance guy, and they'd either like take it out or they'd send a maintenance tech if they were there out,
put a sign on it.
And put a sign on it, right? Now we're like, hey, bro, this is like to the guy in charge, like, hey, bro, this everything's broken. He goes, yeah, that's what it is. Like,
he's like, yeah, what can you do? We're like, dude, it's kind of your job to do something, bro. Like we said, like at one point, I was like, you and me could probably get the VR up and running faster than like these like kids that they have working here, just because of our experience. Like we know computers, we know like how to fix things, like we knew how to like do tech support basically, and like run down a chain of like what is busted, where's the point of failure, where's it happening, and like how can we troubleshoot this
exactly. So before we leave, we decide, okay, we're gonna do laser tag. If VR is broken, by the time laser tag's over, we'll just leave. It's fine. Yeah. So we start sitting in the laser tag line,
and that's where I share my horrible history with laser tag with you guys.
Yeah. Do you want?
I was like, listen, guys. Here? Sure. I was like, yeah, I have some trauma. Like we're just all sitting there. Waiting for laser tag deployment, like we're in the back of like a jumbo jet, like flying over like on a night mission. And I just turned to the guys and I'm like, listen, I have some history with laser tag, guys. I have horrible experiences with it. Because like, how do you have bad experiences with laser tag? I'm like, listen, I was at my nephew's birthday party. He was turning like 5 years old, and what you have to remember is like I'm like 6'5". So
yeah, when you're running, is a tall individual.
Yeah, so there was like 2 levels to this laser tag place that we're at, and I was at the top part, and there's like 2 ramps going down the side, and then like a dead stop, and then like a gate fence, and then like another ramp going down. And so I'm at the top, and I'm just like, picking off kids from the top, having a good time. And like I see some little kid running up, like I'm like, oh, that guy thinks he's gonna get me. So I like start running full clip down a ramp, and like out of nowhere, like another kid like starts coming up. And so he's like up to like a little bit past my kneecaps, basically. Like, he's probably like
it's a very small kid.
He's like 3.5 feet. I don't know, like less than half my size. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, snaps. So I pull a maneuver and like I jump over this kid down a ramp, baseball slide down both my knees, turn like into my head and like my arm, like everything's just, it's all carpeted too because it's laser tag, so everything just has like rug burn on it. Like my pants get like completely ripped open. They're like I'm bleeding from the kneecaps. Like I hit my head like on the metal post. There's like a huge welt there that's bleeding. Like my arms completely like cut up, that's also like bleeding. And I'm like, it's like I just kind of like pick a corner, just sit there and like I play the rest of the laser tag from there. And like I kind of wrap up so all the kids don't see me like all completely scuffed up from laser tag. So I'm like, listen, guys, I'm going to play laser tag with you guys, but I'm not going to really go hard. I'm just going to have, sit back and have fun. And our buddy was like, oh, you'll be like Arnold in the Predator, just like sitting back with the camo. And I'm like, yeah, all right. So we're sitting there. I'm sharing this story. And there's like 3 or 4 people in front of us in line.
Yep. So here's where you know that your disappointment factor, because keep in mind, games that we're trying are broken at this point. We came from mini golf, broken. The pizza was pretty good. The breadsticks terrible.
It's cold breadsticks. Cold breadsticks. It's like, guys, you can't even microwave this, dude.
Marinara. Yeah. I typically. if I wasn't worried about getting kicked out of the place, I would have threw that marinara on the ground. Like it was, it was legitimately ice cold. I'd been like, fuck this, and threw it on the ground, right?
I was like sitting there. I was like, man, I should just charge back on my card for this whole experience. I was like, I feel like I was a little ripped off, honestly. Like it felt like a traveling carnival, like a little circus carnival that shows up, and like all the carny games are like this, out of set up for you to fail. It felt like that, but instead the games just didn't work.
Yes, exactly. So Chip's telling us his war story. He's basically smoking
my laser tag war story.
Just real upset about it.
Like you guys think you know laser tag?
The laser tag session ends, and at this laser tag session's pretty. It's like for the amount of vests and stuff that they had it was like what 12 of them on each side. So 24.
Yeah, it looked like it was like maybe like 24.
Yeah, these guys get out. They're leaving. One guy goes, "Don't use this one. It's broken." They all leave, and in front of us, we're looking. We're like, okay, there's 4 in front of us. We're 4, and then there's 4 behind us, so we can all jump in. We count. There are 8 people who left, and 1 vest was broken. We see the writing. We're like, okay, there's 4 in front of us. There's
7.
4. We're 4.
Yeah.
So we're like 7. One of us will just have to use a broken vest or something, but whatever.
Yeah,
it'll still be fun. It's still
crazy.
laser tag. And then this happened. An entire family of Jed Clampetts, just like a bunch of city slickers, just like Beverly Hillbillies, stand up. This whole brood.
They're like on the benches. Like we thought they were waiting for the kids that were already in there, because it's like it's a family place. So there's like like what looks like your typical moms and dads just hanging out, like talking, sitting on the bench. I'm like, oh, they're waiting for their kids to get down with laser tag. They all stand up and like, oh, they're gonna switch out. They're meeting up with their kids and they're gonna leave. No, they start like waving like this, and like a fleet of kids, like a new fleet of kids, just like run up right in front of us, and they all just like start piling in. I'm like, there's no way all of them are even gonna fit in. Like, and I just like turn to these guys. I'm like, yo,
you know what that reminded me of too? Do you remember in Starship Troopers when the bugs hit Buenos Aires? And they said, we're going to war, and everyone's like booking it to see what happened. That's what it reminded me of, except where the dude's just standing there and everyone's running past us. So like 40 kids come up in front of us, and we're just like, okay, this is scuffed. We're out of here. So we walk by VR. There's 3 spots open. So we're like, okay, we're not gonna.
It's finally up and running.
The VR. So myself, you, and Heart on the Table start waiting, and waiting.
Yep.
VR breaks again.
Yeah, and so like I turned to you guys. I'm like, I'm gonna go play this Jurassic Park game because that's actually working.
Yep.
So I played the Jurassic Park Jeep game. That was pretty fun. I don't know. I found a kind of Triceratops. That was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
The guns felt good. It showed you where you were with the cursor on screen and stuff. And graphic wise, it's fun. It's worth playing if you're in the arcade. Like, it's definitely worth checking out.
Yep. So we're waiting in line. We finally
I played the full like game.
Yeah, you had time to, while we were waiting.
I didn't really say that for like the story on the pod, where I'm just like, I started playing this Jurassic Park game. No, I played like a full on like 30-minute campaign of Jurassic Park, like sitting in a Jeep, shooting things, catching Triceratops, and like I get out, I turn around, you guys are still in line, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yep. And by the time they get VR working, a kid jumps in front of us going, I really wanted to play VR. And it's a kid, right? So we're like, okay, whatever. And the 4th player never gets up. So Heart on the Table and I are looking at the writing on the wall. We're like, we're not going to be able to play this. And then it just so happens like this family leaves and they force this kid who was in front of us to leave. So like, okay, we can get in. And this one kid who's just like standing pat, he's like, I'm playing VR. So one of us wasn't able to jump in. And so it was myself, Hart, and Butters who jumped in VR and he capped some zombies. Which honestly, and I have VR at home, right? It was a good experience, honestly, when we were actually in there. Heart on the Table's headset wasn't working, so he didn't have any sound. But Butters,
like that was not even upsetting at this point.
Butters was working
Yeah.
perfect, and mine I had no mic, so no one could hear me talk. I had to yell in real life. But Butters worked perfect. Like he was calling shots in game. We could hear it in our headsets. We all waved at each other. You know, we were capping zombies and we were calling out where the zombies were. And then when the boss zombie came up, well, he like tried to cut our heads off with these chainsaws, and we are physically ducking. You know, and I lift my headset up a little bit, and I see we're all on the ground ducking and shooting up and stuff. So that was a good experience when it was there, right? So
it was actually working.
It was actually working, and then we only got 5 minutes in it, so we waited like 40 minutes for a 5-minute play session. But when Butters, Hart, and I left when we were leaving the place, they were saying it's weird being in real life, like in reality now, which is all I wanted. I really wanted you to experience it. We'll have to set up something next time, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got VR, but I have to come over there at some point, hang out in your basement.
Definitely. So we'll figure it out. But overall, man, I got to say the state of American arcades it's not worth it, dude. That's like someone's going to have to just jump in and provide the level of service and maintain quality to make it viable. And it's not going to be like a chain place, like a Chuck E. Cheese or something. It has to, like, I feel these arcade bars, if you've ever been to one, always like machines you typically are working. Like, that's a start.
It's usually like more adults though too. Like I think that's kind of the difference. Is like we went to like an open place, like a family oriented place, and it's like little kids have like zero respect for the machines. And when you have that, like you need a dedicated maintenance person who's like walking around with the old quarter strap there, like handing out quarters, like, oh, that machine's down here. You go. It hands out like some tokens and like it puts out the sign and is like, all right, let me crack this thing open with just like a, pliers and a, Phillips head screwdriver.
Yeah. It's rough, man. I think it goes to show that the old school games like skee ball and stuff are timeless classics, and you can always depend on those. Because if the place had less to do, but everything to do was working correctly, I would have felt like I got my money's worth. But the fact that it had all of these things that we could compete in or do, and like 60% of it was broken, really, really hampered the day.
I mean, I went to one other, like a different arcade, and they kind of had like a lot of the same issue. Like you said, it's just kind of like the state of American arcades in general. Like, and this one was like an adult place that was like a bar / arcade.
Like a Dave and Buster's?
Yeah, sure. Like, not to name names, it was kind of like that, but it was like it was at the Mall of America. It was like, fourth floor.
Sure.
It's a well-known arcade.
Sure.
And like several of their pinball machines were just down. And I was like, what the like some of them, like the flippers were broken. Other ones, like there was like balls just stuck in it. And I was like, man, and I don't know if it's those newer cabinets that they make, because they make like mini, like 3/4 pinball machine
they're no
cabinets
longer
now.
full size. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can fit more of them in there. They're not as big. You don't have to worry about things like those are cool. I feel like 3/4 is almost like the perfect size for a pinball machine, honestly.
Sure.
I feel like full sizes are just a bit too much. Like, personally,
3/4 work better in your home as well.
Yeah, they work better like these like bars where you can set up like a row of them. They're not taking up too much real estate, but yeah, like all of them were just kind of like different states of busting. I don't want to blame the manufacturers, but I think it's just like when they have like the cards where you just like play however much you want. Yeah, and like if you go ham on like those machines, like maybe they're just not, like you said, they're perfect for home. Maybe they're not made for the industrial heavy usage.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's why you need like a bigger full size cabinet for like a bar style place or what. I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad time. But also those things are like, they're not big problems to fix. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
they're not.
Like,
Everything's fixable.
And they're made to be like maintained. Like those pinball machines, like the front cracks up like almost like the hood of a car. And like all someone had to do is like hop it open with like the hood of a car with the key, open it up, and then just take the ball out of the place where it was busted, close it back down. It's fine. Like instead, like you have people who see it and they probably just start banging on the machine. They're like, oh, it's broken. It starts like setting off the tilt alarm, and then they just like walk away all drunk.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Some of the ones where if you have the tilt alarm goes off, you actually have to unplug the machine and plug it back in to get it to work again. Yeah. So a lot of times when someone does that, they just leave it. They're like, it's broken now, and no staff there knows to unplug it. Like we're just stuck. It's so
like, I don't know. It's just stuck, dude.
Yeah.
And again, like a lot of those other machines too, like just need to be turned on and off again as well. Like you're saying, like a lot of like old school like stand-up arcade cabinets and stuff. Like you just unplug it, plug it back in, and like usually a quick reboot fixes it. Like so,
Yep.
I don't know. There's just like a lot of like simple maintenance stuff that I feel like I don't know if it's that they don't trust their employees or like or what, man. Like I feel like a lot of like these problems could be solved with like simple like Google searches or like YouTube videos like of looking up like how to fix stuff, dude.
Yes, yes, I agree completely. So that's the state of gaming in person, guys. It's
Is it the younger generation?
I think it's
Because
I think honestly think it's our generation and being lax with it with the advent of internet and stuff. People are more apt to stay home, so no one puts
yeah,
any time in these physical locations. You know what? The
well, I was
what
just like
always
wondering like the skill sets, like to fix things, like because again, like a lot of these like pinball arcade machines, like if you know how to like open them up and like reset them or like fix them, like the one with like a busted controller, like uh you can get that replacement part for like $8, like a whole new controller thing, and like just like
yes,
plug it in. Like, there's no reason why they shouldn't have like 20 of those things on deck to like replace like a bad controller, like at an arcade.
yeah,
They should just have like a drawer where they're like, oh, that's busted. Hold on. And again, these are machines that are built to be like maintained. So like the whole front, like top part of an arcade thing comes up where you have like access to the controller ports, dude. It's not like you have to go in the back, open up the machine with the key and stuff like the old days. Like they
yep.
like in the front, you just click it open, pop up the top, and then like it's like four little screws you
And then
unscrew and
push
like
the controller.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know. And like I think we've both have you built an arcade cabinet, arcade
yeah,
stick and stuff? Like
yep.
yeah. So I
Both.
think both of us have experience like building and putting together like a MAME type machine. So
Yes, yes. With
so maybe we just take it for granted, but
it
they're not
might be.
crazy skill sets. Like
It's all freely available to look up online. And honestly,
yeah.
if you take apart even like any arcade stick, you can see it's a pretty simple like mechanism.
It looks intimidating. It looks intimidating, but it's really not. Like
Yeah,
it's like
I've never done a pinball like a physical pinball machine, but I'm pretty sure I could figure it out.
yeah, the newer ones are super slick. There's not a lot to them. The older ones also look super intimidating, but like if you keep track of your wires, like it's pretty straightforward. And like most of the time, you're not gonna even messing with the wires. You're usually replacing bulbs or like a bumper, and like those things
Yeah.
are usually just like pop and swap. Like they're built again. All these machines are built to be maintained and like replace parts and stuff. Like they're incredibly smart people there at like was it Midway and
Midway and Williams
Williams?
Entertainment and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Bally's like
Yes, yes, that's the other one. So it's sad, man. Like I think that like going there, like while I had some fun, the disappointment overshadowed the fun.
yeah. And I can't tell
And
if it's just like one of those things where it's like the bad like our minds are main built to remember bad more than good because like if y- if you had like a certain lens about it, we had an amazing time. But it was like
true.
I don't know because like it feels like everything was broken, but I would say it was probably like 30%, which is a lot, but like not like we
The
still had
things that were
plenty of
broken
fun.
were the things we came for, though.
Yeah, that was again it was like managing expectations. Like I think we all kind of agreed if they just told us like these machines are broken, we would have still bought the passes and like played and like went in there and had a great time. But because our expectations were like, oh, we're gonna be able to do this and this, like we talked about it on the way there. We're like, oh
Yes.
man, this is gonna be great. We're gonna be playing VR. Like we have 4 players. Like this is gonna be awesome. And we're like the first thing we see is like, oh, that's down. I'm like, shit. Like, well, they're working on it though. They also gave us hope too. They're like, oh, he's on the phone with the tech. They'll get this up and running. I'm
Yep.
sure this happens all the time.
The fact that I have VR at home gave me more optimism as well, because I'm like, if that's not working, it's pretty simple to fix.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that the people there had no idea what anything was and had no idea how to fix it.
I feel like we're old people, dude. Like this is
that
old
might be
people.
it, man.
Like these kids today don't have any idea. I think we take for granted our breadth of experience. Like we literally have a podcast about video gaming, bro. Like I think like there's like probably like normal people. Then there's like people who are like enthusiasts, and then there's like expert level people like us, dude.
Yeah.
And then Well, no, I would say there's experts, and then there's us, even above.
I find myself kind of explaining a lot of history because I typically will have diarrhea of the mouth and have information overload for people. So
Yeah.
a lot of times they're like, "Oh, I like this game. Did you play this old one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have played this, and it came out here. This is how it reviewed on release, and here's the people who were the main heads of it, what they've worked on now." And people are like, "That's way more information than I wanted to know, bro."
I did that for somebody who's like talking about Bruce Lee, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, do you know anything about like they're trying to tell me I didn't know anything about kung fu movies for some reason. And Bruce Lee, yeah, they didn't know me. I think they're just kind of like joking around too. It's kind of like lighthearted.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're talking about Enter the Dragon, 1971, Bruce Lee. Like I just gave like the year and the date like of the release and everything. Like what the
Pretty
hell?
sure that was 66, but yeah.
Man, I know because of a movie, bro. You can look it up. Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon, 1971.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm looking it up now, by the way. But you're right. Just I mean, I have all the Blu-rays, but I was thinking, man, I think that's really what it is. Because even when I was a kid, I wanted to know how to fix this stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, you had to too. Like, right? Like, if a controller goes bad or something, like you're not going to go buy another $70 controller. Like, you gotta pop it apart, clean it up. You gotta get the rubbing alcohol, Q-tips, like a lot of like home repair maintenance, and like I guess maybe newer systems too aren't as friendly for that as well. Like you need like more specialized tools for like the
True.
newer Nintendos and Xbox. I don't know if Xbox needs like the little pick saws or whatever, but
yeah, it's a different environment. Enter the Dragon, 1973. So
1973.
Yeah. So
It's close enough.
Okay,
misquote.
Misquote, but you're close. Yeah. So let's get into Halo Infinite, man. I'm gonna leave it myself last because I'm probably the most experienced at Halo and have probably the most want for it. But what were your impressions of it?
Like at first I was like and this is like hot off the heels of us all playing like the Master Chief Collection. And after playing again, like I said, like I was done playing the Master Chief Collection, I was like, man, I kind of don't like Halo. Like, I was like, this isn't for me, man. Like, this isn't like I kind of remember Halo this way, and like it plays just kind of off. Like it felt like an off-brand, like Halo. Almost, it felt like they made a weird generic Halo, but it's made by the official team. And then Halo Infinite, when I played that, at first I was like, okay, this feels pretty good. And then like after 3 or 4 games with that, I was like, oh man, this feels like really good. Like it was clean. It definitely had like some jank to it. There's some issues with like the settings and stuff, but it's still is it beta? It's early access? I don't know what it was. It was like the free weekend.
Technical test is what they're calling it.
Technical
but yeah,
test.
A beta. Yeah.
Oh, well, they had some technical issues with this test. But as to be expected, that's kind of why they do these things. I don't know how much they're going to be able to fix in 2 months. Some of it seemed like maybe network. Some of it seemed easy enough to fix, like in settings and stuff, like for the quality problem where you had to like switch settings.
Yeah.
And you can like hot fix that with like just a simple line of code, probably.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's like a parentheses that was missed, truthfully, with something like that. I'll get into that when I speak too, but yeah.
Aside from all that, like just the play and feel was great. We're playing on the last gen system, right?
We're playing on the 1X, yeah.
Yeah, the 1X looked fine on that. Like it, I saw you playing it, like you were streaming a little bit of it, and like I was like, holy shit, is that the same game we were playing? Like it looked really good, like on your system, dude. Like, but like on the 1X, you're like, oh, this is fine. This looks okay. Until you see it, it's like one of those things where they say like, it doesn't matter your TV size because like when you bring it home, it's not like a bunch of other TVs are there to compare it to.
Yes.
It's kind of like that with that Halo, where I was like, as we're playing, I was like, oh, this looks good. This feels great. I was playing fine. Like there wasn't I think there's only like 2 maps to choose from in that. Does that sound right?
3, yeah.
3.
But we never got the third one when we were there.
Yeah, I was only playing the 2. 2 maps were all right. They felt more Call of Duty-esque to me than Halo as far as like layout and stuff, but they tried to add more verticality because you have like a grappling hook and all this, and like that was all right. It wasn't like too distracting or game breaking or anything. I was able to like track and do all this. kind of struggling the first few matches I played, and I started like getting back into it. Like as soon as you like get that trigger finger back, man, it's a game on finally, dude. Like you start, uh, yeah. I want them to make the guns a little stronger and make the grenades a little weaker personally, but that's my own personal preference. And I've been playing like other games since Halo, so you know it's supposed to kind of have that arcadey,
Yes.
big bombastic style gameplay where you're like trying to go in for punches and explosions and
Yes.
it's just different. It's not bad. It's just different.
It's much different from what you've been playing, right? Because nowadays games, grenades don't do that much damage. Like they're more there as a deterrent than something you're trying to kill someone with.
Yeah.
Call of Duty being the exception, because Call of Duty still has like pretty powerful grenades, but yeah, like Counter-Strike, like grenades only do like 53 damage, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I haven't played Counter-Strike especially competitively in a while. But yeah, they're not meant to kill; they're meant to deter. So, you know, you're right. You're right. So, but overall, you had a good time, and you'll be playing it.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely picking it up in December. I'm not sure if I want to play on the PC or my Xbox yet. Like personally, I want to say PC just because I already have everything set up here to like stream it. I feel like I'm going to switch from Overwatch to Halo when it comes out. Just start playing Halo, dude.
There you go. For me, like I said, I have the Series X coming in. I got the PC. I'll probably be playing it on PC most just because it's easiest, but Series X will be upstairs ready to go. Frame rate wise, it will be it's tweaked to run at 120 FPS on the new next gen consoles. PC frame rate's uncapped, but you know you have a good base. The last gen consoles, its performance mode is supposed to run at 30 FPS. So you have the difference, you know. What I don't agree with. So here's one of the bugs that we encountered in Halo Infinite. The quality versus performance setting didn't stick. So every match you had to go into video settings, switch from quality to performance to actually get the game to run well. But once it did, it ran fine. You know, going off the other thing they did is they tweaked the controller settings quite a bit. So it took a long time to get comfortable.
They changed up all the names of everything too.
Yeah. Like you don't have bumper jumper anymore, and if you do, it's called something else.
There's no boxer in there.
Yeah. There's no boxer. At least I didn't think there was. It's called something else.
I think it's maybe punchy now. It's weird.
Yeah.
They just changed up the names because they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. The other thing is, so once I finally got a comfortable setting, which I think you saw last night when I was streaming, Chip, like you could probably tell I was a lot more comfortable with it after I tweaked it a bunch. You know, the game was amazing.
I just thought it was because you hadn't been drinking personally. I was like, man, he's way better when he's sober.
Could be a little bit of both. But yeah, dude, I have to say, this feels like the true evolution of what from Halo 3 to 4 should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm not counting Reach as 4 because it was a prequel game of the added armor abilities and stuff too, which kind of maintained in the series and changed it quite a bit. But if you went from Halo 3 to Infinite now, it would have felt one next gen, and it would have felt like the proper progression, I feel. This is the first time that 343 has given me any kind of hope. There's the things that they're doing that's really sketch, such as not launching with co-op. No real campaign details have been shown.
I would say, I would not get your hopes too much. Like, I feel like
get split screen in the beta, even though they said it's going to launch for multiplayer.
It definitely feels like there's going to be a lot of missing features based on like that very limited amount that we played for this. I was like, man, this feels like it's like 2 or 3 years from being where it needs to be. And I think that's just they're like, whatever, we can ship like the MVP, the minimal viable product, and it will just games as a service it, and like we'll just update it, and then probably have like a roadmap. And maybe like, again, much like the busted ass arcade, I think it's just controlling expectations. If they just told us that, like, we're all going to play the game still, like, just tell us that straight up. So like you said, like, we're expecting like the co-op, like that seems like such a heartbreak when like they're like, oh yeah, we're pulling. It's like, were you ever even working on it, bro? Because like it sounds like you didn't have shit done for it.
Yeah.
When they're talking about like, oh, the split screen's not there yet, and they're like, oh, it'll be there, it's like, is it, bro? Is it going to be there? Because it doesn't really seem like it's going to be there. They're like, oh, this is, I bet it's going to be like, oh, only if you have the Xbox Series S or X, then you can have split screen, because the old gen's not going to be able to handle it, and that's fine. But it feels like for probably some dude in marketing is like, we can't say that, well, nobody will get the game then. It's like, no, dude, we're all getting this game, like, calm down. But just, I don't know, maybe it's just a easier pill to swallow for people. I think it just creates like a weird letdown. Like if they just like told us like from the jump, like, oh, this and this probably not going to be working, our roadmaps like to try and get this and this in the next 2 to 3 years, then I think everybody like, yeah, that's fine, whatever.
I think right now they have great bones in the game. I think that weapons all feel really good. The big thing for me is the weapons sound. They all sound really good. And like Halo 4 weapons all sounded like pea shooters, and I hated it. Halo 5, it sounded like pea shooters as well, but they're on the right track, and now the weapons are back. Everything sounds punchy. The weapons that are big.
It sounded like they almost tried to make the weapons like in 4 like sound more like realistic.
Yeah, which is a big
like you said, they just sound like pea shooters, like compared to like the bigger bombastic, like was Spartan supposed to be like 7 feet tall or whatever? He's supposed to be some giant like genetic super freak, like using like these crazy hand cannons. Like he's supposed to be a 1-man army, bro. He's not using like a little pew pew pew. He's doing like you need like that. You need that reverb in it, son.
Exactly. So yeah, overall, man, I think especially when I streamed it last night, I had more fun playing that for the short stream I did than I've had playing any iteration of it since Bungie left. So
did you have more fun playing that for an hour than you did at the arcade?
Yeah. Probably. That being said, this pod will be out while the big team battle is going on. I do plan on streaming that as well. And anyone
Twitch TV,
twitch.tv /Mr. Gimpy. So
you're gonna put a link in this?
Yeah, I'll put a link in. I feel
like you always say you will, and then like every
I do.
episode I never see it, dude.
I do every episode I mention it. But yeah,
you just gotta start doing it, bro. You gotta start tagging it on every episode. It's free advertisement.
So at this point, this episode releases at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. The beta will be in the evening. Like I think it's 5 till 9 Pacific again. I plan on playing it and I'll have spots open. So if anyone jumps in, just say in the chat you want to jump into, and we'll let you in. Chip, I hope I'll see you during this.
Is it on PC?
You had to sign up on PC, but you definitely can get in on your console.
Dude, I was going to do this yesterday. Yeah. Because they had like a little bit of it going then.
Yeah.
I don't know what my Microsoft email is that I used to sign up.
Well, you got a couple days to figure it out.
I think it's maybe on my phone.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because I got the app. I got the app for my Xbox.
Yeah.
Put that on there.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
It's somewhere, dude. I'm very lazy, dude. Like I started looking at it, and I got, this is how far I got. I went over to the Xbox, turned it on, looked down there to see if I could sign up through the Xbox. Like if there's like some button, some big promo. Yeah. There's nothing there. So then I went back to my PC and I went to Google and I was like, how do I sign up for this? Got to the thing that was like, click here to sign up. And it was like, what's your Microsoft email? And I was like, yeah, all right, I guess I'm not doing this. And I had like an hour before it even started. I was just like, yeah, it's a bit much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will say too, like from the bugs that were more prevalent in Infinite, Bungie has already confirmed they're patched in the current build of the game that they're running. So I'm okay. So like the BYB, which just lets you melee as much as you want. We encountered that last night on the stream. That'll be patched in the full release.
That should be a feature, dude.
Right. There's another really funny glitch where if you put a repulsor grenade inside of, or it might be called a disruptor, but anyway, inside of this room on Bazaar with the wet floor signs, it causes a more wet floor signs to spawn. So if your whole team like throws a bunch of them in there, you could have infinite wet floor signs and fill the entire room. Like that's a funny bug, but that'll be patched as well. But it's stuff like that will be prevalent in the big team battle this weekend. So just look out for that. Don't worry about it if you get BYB'd to death. It'll be fixed. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, it's given me hope for streaming in the future because, as you know, like I'm a big Halo fan. Having one that's giving me this much joy, I'm really looking forward to it.
Are you still playing Valorant, mate?
I am still playing Valorant. Yep, I'm still streaming Valorant. I still plan on streaming Valorant, but
how you feeling about Valorant, man? It's been a little bit since you started down this path.
I'm liking it a lot, and
I will say this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When I have tuned in, and I don't really mean this as a criticism, just an observation. Whenever I tune in to watch you on Twitch and you're playing Valorant, you seem really pissed off. it does not look like you are having fun in that game, bro. Like all of your teammates sound super serious, dude. Like, yeah. And then like every once in a while, like you all start like joking around and stuff. But like, man, like I've never seen you like more serious than playing Valorant, dude. I'll say like I was giving you like a hard time over the weekend, like we're playing games and we're all joking around and stuff. And I was going like a little bit extra hard on Gimpy, as you do.
Yeah.
It's all in like good fun.
Yeah.
And I tried to like pull back when I saw like you start getting like a little upset. I'll say you look way more upset than like a room full of dudes like roasted you while you're trying to play Halo. Than when you're playing Valorant, dude. Like casually, you're like, oh, like I don't know, but I'm not really one to talk. Like we were just talking about this before the stream, where it's like when I stream, like I have like zero reaction.
Yeah,
people are like, dude, you just got like this crazy kill, or like you had no reaction to that. And I was like, no, I had a reaction. Like my reaction was like, oh, I think I killed him. Like that was my reaction. Like, I don't know. Like I don't know if it's because like we've both been playing video games for so long, where it's like we're just more muted on like yeah. Where it's like this is just another day at work for us.
I think if you were in the Valorant streams like the last 2 weeks, definitely popped off a lot more. Like the first couple of weeks, like of me learning the game, it was rough. And there were games that were just demoralizing where I could have like a 40 bomb and we still lost.
Yeah, this is the biggest problem with like team games.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, and this is why like I never strived and like I never took team games seriously. Like even when I did compete in things, I always did it free for all, right? I never worried about a team, and then teamwork became popular, and that's like the mainstay. If you want to go pro in games, you have to be on a team, and that pisses me off. We
also play a ton of League of Legends, and it got to the point where like we're playing so much where I was like, guys, I don't want to play anymore. Like I was like, if we keep playing, like I want to, like we have to take this seriously. Like we got to start a team. Like that's the only way this is going to like continue to be fun for me personally, is if like we take this to a competitive level, and we start playing like ranked team. And I was like, and if we do that, we have to at least go to training. Yeah, we have to train like twice a week. We have to work on call outs. We have to like work on our teamwork, surprise. And like if we do that, I feel like there's no reason why we couldn't be, a top level League of Legends team.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it is fair. I will say, playing Valorant now, because when I played CSGO quite a bit, and CS before that, I could carry pretty hard, right? Where if my teammates were learning the game, I could, like me carrying would overrule them learning and making mistakes. Valorant is a different animal, and I notice when I get tired in Valorant, my muscle memory defaults to Counter-Strike style stuff. There was one point, the last stream, where I was spraying the Vandal, which is the equivalent of the AK in CSGO, but I was tired, and I'm looking at my cursor placement. It's not where the Vandal would shoot, it's where the AK would shoot. I'm like, wow, like tired me just defaults to CS if I'm playing a PC shooter. Like this is that's like some Inception level shit, dude. That's nuts. But I recognize that. But for Valorant, since I'm not, since I'm learning the game with everyone else, not being able to control it is definitely rough for me. But my friends are learning the game with me. So playing Valorant has given me more confidence in my friends as well. And not to say that I think my friends are bad at the game. It's just I'm the type of person where if I want it done right, I'm going to do it,
Yeah.
But Valorant has forced me to step back. And
it's humbled you.
and let my teammates do what they do. Like you saw me on Infinite yesterday, where I went and just solely killed one guy just to delay for the flag cap, and then you're like, "There's a dude to your left." I'm like, "Oh, I know," but he had full health, and the guy I was killing had his shields popped already. So it's more economical for me to kill that guy who was going for the overshield than the guy behind me who's nowhere near the overshield. So, and I just had to trust my teammates. So I think that like the Valorant, like you jumping in. Depending on when he jumped in, it might have been like if I had a 40 bomb and we still lost. Because anyone who's still happy after that, something's wrong with you. You're a psychopath.
So maybe it's me. Maybe it's because I've been in elo hell for so long, where like I have zero trust in any teammates anymore. Where I'm just like, all these guys are trash. Like I can't rely on them for anything. I have to just be that much better, and that's the only way to get out of here.
Could be it. It could be it. But yeah, man. So I do plan on making a Halo video as well, just solo. So whenever that's done, I'll pop that up too. But yeah, I had a great time this weekend, man. Despite the disappointments, it was great hanging out with the boys, and it was great getting to experience Infinite with everyone, and getting like Illy Sputters to experience VR.
I wouldn't even say we were disappointed with the arcade. I would say it was an experience.
It was an experience with the boys that we can all joke about and laugh, right?
So. Well, forever, dude. Like we'll meme that to death, dude.
Yes.
10 years from now, I'll be like, ah.
Exactly. But yeah, dude, you got anything else to say on the wrap up here?
No, it's an amazing weekend. We had a great time. I think being a tryhard's the future for us, man. We got to start trying hard. Like, I think that's also been like, you're talking about like, kind of like the novelty of like defaulting back to Counter-Strike and stuff. And, I don't know. I used to be like really, really good at shooters.
Yeah.
And I just like stopped playing video games as serious. I would say like there's a time where I was playing against professional players, but it was a different time as well. Yeah. It was like a time like if you had like cable internet, like people would invite you to play against like top level like professional team. Like, OG Counter-Strike, I was playing against like other like people who are professional Counter-Strike players, and like in Quake, like if you had like good internet, like you could play against like people like Fatal and stuff, where you're like, oh, get your ass handed to you this weekend or whatever. So like I'm used to like playing against like ridiculously high level competition, and I did that for like a good like 5 or 6 year period in like shooters, and then I just kind of stopped, and I've just been super casual since then.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I think like since I've been streaming, I'm like, I gotta get better, dude. Like I feel like I'm slightly above average, and like to me, like that's absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that says about me, like what kind of horrible mindset I have, like where I'm just like, I know I can improve, like the improvement curve's like ridiculous. So I gotta just start working. I got the aim assist trainer or whatever, the aim-tastic.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start, lifting weights, doing bench presses. Start watching YouTube videos, seeing like the cheeky hiding spots on the maps, the call outs. Like,
yep.
It's gonna be tough, man. I think we're back.
Yeah,
we're back in the thick of it, bro.
I think so too. I'm gonna keep challenging you to a 1v1 in Quake or Unreal. One day we'll get it done. One day.
I'm terrible at those games now, dude.
Yeah.
I remember like I played. What was the Quake one that they went live with the free
Quake
online? Quake Live. I started playing that. The boys were all like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get Quake. It's gonna be great." So I started playing that just to warm up. I was like, I haven't played Quake in years, and I started playing, and then I think it realized like I'm an OG god, so like it like bumped my elo up to like god tier, and so like I started it's like if I played casual people, I was destroying them, but then when I was playing against like god tier people, I'm like maybe I get like 2 or 3 kills like in a whole game, which is still really good for people who never stop playing Quake. Like if you're getting like a couple of kills on them, like it's probably mildly infuriating to them. But then all the rest of the boys got on, and I don't think they knew that I'd been playing Quake forever.
Yeah.
So like when they all got on and we started playing like maps with randoms, it was putting them against like the gods, and they were just getting completely waffle stopped. And they're like, "Man, fuck Quake, we're done." Never again. They played for like half an hour, and they're like, "Yeah, we're done. There was no more Quake Live. Uninstall."
That's what happens, bro. That's what happens. Yeah. But yeah. So like I said, this episode releases at 11 a.m. and on October, let's see, first is what, Friday, second, there's October 3rd, 11 a.m. I will be streaming in the evening, so check me out for some big team battle. Everyone's invited.
Yeah. Any
Should be some
closing
good
thoughts,
shit.
bro?
And for closing thoughts, man, I just think that I hope this next generation brings back local play. I think Halo, if it has split screen and stuff,
It's
it'll
never
be a
coming
big part
back,
of it.
bro.
It'll
Those
be a big part
arcades
of it.
are distant memories and local
Um,
play.
But yeah, dude, I think that this kind of proves that this past console generation was just the generation of jank, and it's time to overcome
Yeah.
that, man. So yeah, I am Mr. Gimpy. It's Chipmunk right next to me. Everybody, thank
What's
you
a
so much
goon
for
to a
listening.
goblin?
Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys all on Big Team Battle later today. And
Goodbye.
like, share, subscribe. 500 of your friends. If you don't got them, get them.
Tell
Later, boys.
20,000 of your closest enemies to subscribe.
See ya.
Peace.